Hello everyone and welcome to a new series. We are going to be playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Now for those that don't know, this is kind of like a spin-off to the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney series, for which I have played. There are currently like 6 main games in that series and I have played all of them, so I do kind of know what that series is all about. However, I have not played these games, and as far as I'm aware, you don't need any prior knowledge from those to play these, so if you're watching me, you know, don't be afraid that you don't know what's going to be going on. It's a standalone adventure as far as I am aware. Anyway, let's just get right into it. So this is like a series of 2 games. Yeah, we go into select adventure here. Yeah, the Great Ace Attorney Adventures and Resolve. I don't know if I'm going to be playing the second one just yet. I've yet to decide if I'm going to like this one or not, but I assume I will be because I am a huge fan of the Ace Attorney series. Yeah, the only knowledge I have going into this is that it takes place in like the late 1800s / early 1900s. It also takes place in like Japan with a heavy like English influence too. Whereas the original like Ace Attorney series it took place in America and had a heavy Japanese influence. Yeah, that's all I really know. I don't know anything about this. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. Let's see what we're gonna get ourselves into here.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of like Victorian England vibes being mixed with the Japanese here.
And some was swept away by the tide. But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Oh no! I killed that guy! Yeah, I'm almost positive that's the main character that we're going to be playing as. Not a good start. The Adventure of the Great Departure. Alright. Wow, that is a loud, like, typewriter sound effect. Alright. 22nd November, 8:43 a.m. Supreme Court of... I don't know. I've never seen that word. Judiciature, Defendants, Antechamber 5. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? What? I don't know if I'm going to do voice acting. There's going to be a lot of characters and a lot of reading to do. I'm not sure about that. Oh no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry. Alright, my name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I really hope I'm saying that right. I've seen like the name pronounced, or I've heard the name pronounced several times. I don't know if I'm correctly saying it. But yeah, I know there's going to be a lot of Japanese names I'm going to have to get used to saying. Pretty sure that's Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Could be wrong, though. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough! He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Oh, I thought I'd be defending myself. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Just technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you what are you apologizing to me for? You really should be apologizing to that guy you shot. Oh, no, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. Ha ha ha! There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yumei University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not! You have to believe me! I didn't do it! I could never murder someone. Well, except for that one time. Oh, dang it, he got me. Alright, and then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asoji. Wait, yeah, I think that's Asoji. Be wrong. Because I know when you're reading Japanese names like this, the vowels are always the same. Asoji? Is it Asoji or Asoji? Oh man, I really wish I studied more for this game. He's my best friend, also in his second year at Yumei University. But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much, yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes. That's when this all started. When I murdered that guy. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know, I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend! It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's city of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. Partner, I wonder what that means. I'm trying to understand what, like, our profession is. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Asoji. I'm trying to remember how you say A's in Japanese. Is it Asoji or Asoji? Or whatever. May I have a word? Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has a personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asoji. You should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. And who are you? I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. So, what's up, dude? Oh, this is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is... oh, gosh. Yujin Mikotoba. Yeah. Yujin Mikotoba. Let's go with that. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. It might be Asoji. I'm gonna go with Asoji, yeah. Asoji has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you no doubt heard, Asoji has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. Why are you telling me this? What? As I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asoji may have chosen not to tell you. Yeah, why are you telling me? Like what does telling me benefit you in any way? Or how does it benefit you in any way? He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it, I swear it! I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? Oh man, the music is hyping up right now. You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. What is this guy gonna do? Huh. What is he plotting? I would say our... oh my gosh, these words. Surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asoji must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. What? Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving. There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. So he wants me to defend myself, so his student doesn't have the chance to fail. That's interesting. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. Wow, Ryunosuke, you got your priorities in order. I would definitely worry about yourself getting convicted of murder first before your friend's, dream of traveling abroad is shattered. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny. And my friend's travel plans. 22nd November, 9 o'clock a.m. Supreme Court of Justice. I don't know how to say that. I need a dictionary to play this game, guys. Judicature? I don't know. Courtroom number 2. There we go. Wow, what's wrong with my eyes? So this is a courtroom. The Supreme Court of Justice. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. They're all faceless. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, who died? You need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Oh, that guy looks like Pain from the original series. The judge looks quite a bit different. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Ouchie. His name's Ouchie? The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normally, procedures for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to the trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Well, we're the main character, so I'm gonna say I do. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for his defense. He's like raising his hand like he's a student in class. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? Yeah, Kazuma's not going to be happy about this. What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything, just now before the trial. He did what? He said that your dream of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. I know, man, I'm sorry. But I'm the main character, it's what I gotta do. You think I won't be able to get you off? No, it's not that, really. It's just that... Well, in the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you'd feel. Which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Tisk, Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well. Maybe I should do a voice for this guy. I don't know.
Does the accused admit defeat already, renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still. Try not to look so bewildered. Well, you could just stay right next to me, right? And just give me advice, right? Be my co-counsel.
Humph. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed.
Maybe I should do a voice for the judge, too. As you're no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of... I'm just gonna say justice. from now on, the Supreme Court of Justice of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, you can't be questioning it more than I am. So let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Yes, that's the name of the guy I shot. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I care to remember. But, wait. Ugh, I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again? Ryunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of E. You ever find you've forgotten something? Just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press E for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose. This is a list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with E. Well, what do we got here? University collar pin. Proof that I'm a student at the Imperial Yume University. I always wear it on the collar of my uniform jacket. I wanted to look at this thing. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press Z to go back. Oh, I see. I press A and D to like cycle. Or I can also just click around, okay. Kazuma's 23. He's a second year at the university. He's my best friend, and despite being a student, a qualified defense lawyer as well. Yujin Mikotoba, 42, a medical school professor at the Imperial Yume University. He's an authority in forensic medicine. Kazuma's mentor. Mr. Ouchi, the lead prosecutor of this case, who would appear to have little love for the changes the Cultural Reformation has brought about. John H. Wilson, the victim of this case. He was a visiting professor of medicine at Yume University from the British Empire. Alright. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press R to present. Try it now. It's this guy! The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson, and I totally killed that guy. Oh no.
Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university.
Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is now the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation.
And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor?
But I did do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. So we're gonna convict you. I hope that's alright. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea, after all. It's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire? Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. Oh, that's him. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still. I should go and say hello. And then kill him! So I went over to the professor's table. And introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death. Well, obviously that was, Ryunosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death. Cause of death. Select present. Do it now. So this must be an autopsy report then, yeah? Post-mortem report. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. What? The bullet did... Oh, so it's saying it went into his body, but it didn't come out. Okay. That is definitely going to become relevant later. Yes! That's so funny how he says that. Well... According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Wait, hang on.
Learn to read, you imbecile. That's the post-mortem report, I take it.
Sorry, yes, that's right. The, post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later.
This is a so-called photographic print
At the scene of the crime. What is that? Does that mean it's an artist drew that? Or does that just... Or are they just saying that's a photograph?
As you can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range.
Thank you, counsel. The court will now accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. Well, yeah, I guess for like early 1900s, yeah, a photograph would be kind of huge. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well, I'm satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial.
Certainly, Your Excellency. So without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls in its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened.
Ugh. This is it then? I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asoji must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Yeah, I mean, how are you doing that with your headband. It's magic. Well, you look like the waiter.
Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please.
Of course, my name is Satoru. Oh my gosh, these names, man. Hang on, I have to dice. Satoru Hosonaga. Hosonaga. Wait, Hoso. Yeah, it's Hosonaga. Yeah. Whatever. I am the head waiter at the Western style restaurant called La Carnival. Dude, are you dying right now? Why are you bleeding from your mouth? Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, yes, it's just ketchup. It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really should.
As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grab scene occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago.
Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir.
And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please.
Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have a few, diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it too. There were hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery, when I killed that guy! A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. But no, I don't know. This guy's probably the murderer, right? It's always, when you play these games, you tend to learn that it's always the first witness on the stand, at least for the first case, that is the murderer. That's my prediction anyway. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, a gun in hand, was the accused university student. Yes! I killed him! Why does he say yes? I don't understand that. Hold on, let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
I believe I asked for you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw. You amateur!
But the next time you interrupted at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must quietly listen to the witness. Ugh. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today. Yes, without question.
I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim?
No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university students. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right! When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello... Oh, there was someone else at the table. There was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Let's interject. This seems kind of important. Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Dear me, what are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all?
But I'm sure of what I saw. Usanaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. Oh, he's got those anime push-up glasses I see that fog up. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. Yeah, it's definitely him. He killed the professor. Ahem. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant, as it were that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Why do you have this? What? Let me see. Ah, a sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. You see, why do you have this? This makes me think that this was like the directions you would give to like a hitman. Be like, kill this guy right here, like where the X is, you know? However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. There's no one else in this diagram. What are you talking about? Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course, yes, here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Yeah, you see... He's a hit, I'm calling it right now. He's like a hitman or something like that. Certainly seems to have shaken him. The head waiter's business card. A sketch of the restaurant's layout is on the back. Can we look at the other side of that? Can I just confirm it doesn't say, like, professional hitman on the other side? Dude, oh my god, control your coughing, man.
So the court has now heard a précis of the case.
Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem that we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you.
In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I call this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense. If you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime.
What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? It's like, no, you idiots. Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You said it, Professor Mikotoba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you going to just abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. Oh, dang. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll just see how decisive this evidence really is. Oh, the witness stand is like really short, I just noticed. Indeed. Prosecutor Ouchi, please continue with
Tisk. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. Ugh. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever! The prosecution calls its next witness.
Very well. Officer, bring forth the witness at once. That's 2 people. What?
Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court.
Yes, sir! The Great Nippon Imperial Army's Sergeant Nosa, reporting for duty, sir. What? Nosa? So I know in the Ace Attorney franchise, they do a lot of like puns with the names. I wonder if this is a pun. It sounds almost like yes sir, no sir. Nosa. And he just said like sir, and yeah, like I bet that's what it is. It's supposed to be yes Nosa. Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon. I conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd district of Curio Correcta at your service. Curio Correcta. Oh, it's Curio Collector, yeah. Curio Correcta. Curio Correcta. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing.
Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question.
They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios from which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. This man's a walking thesaurus. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer.
Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident.
Is that correct? Why are there 2 witnesses on the stand at the same time? That doesn't make sense. Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir. This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing you said. Yeah, it sounded like a baby cry or something like that. So this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment the incident occurred. Sir, yes, sir! Standing by, ready to report, sir. Yeah, what does that sound? Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. Witness testimony. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! That wicked university cadet, sir! The cruel and unforgivable enemy! What times we live in when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous! I didn't shoot anyone! Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun I saw lying on the floor. After I had said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant. When I noticed an English-made gun, interesting, next to the chair where the professor was sitting. Maybe it was his gun. Okay, so theory crafting right now. Maybe, okay, the waiter shot him with his own personal gun. And then like the professor, he had his own gun with him and he shot the waiter, and that's why the waiter's like bleeding, is because he has some kind of like internal injury that's making him cough up blood. That's what I'm predicting anyway. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, bang! I killed that man! Well, that's the truth. There was obviously a criminal on scene somewhere. It's somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies. There's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now! As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? The defense demands its right to do a cross-examination. Dear me. Let me guess, the Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects! This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How could he possibly carry out a cross-examination? Objection! The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Gulp. Kazuma is so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. What was that? Like he like gently tapped the desk and it like barely made a noise. Alright then, it's all or nothing. Cross-examination. Alright guys, so I'm gonna leave this episode here for today. I hope you enjoyed. Next time we'll definitely start this cross-examination. Our first cross-examination, I should say. And try and pick apart the lies here. So I hope you guys enjoy this series. I'm having fun with it so far, you know. I really like the graphics, you know, and also like the story so far. I'm really excited to see where it goes, because I am a huge fan of the Ace Attorney series. So yeah, I'm really excited to see where this goes. So yeah, I hope you guys have a good day. I will talk to you all later. Bye!